Most garden hacks you see online don't actually work. Banana peels tossed on top of the soil don't magically feed your plants. Spraying dish soap on everything doesn't solve pest problems. And burying a fish head under your tomatoes is less of a fertilizer strategy and more of a way to attract every raccoon in your neighborhood. The internet is full of shortcuts that sound clever but fall apart the moment you try them in a real garden over a full season. So this video is different. These are 17 garden hacks that actually work. Things I've tested myself or seen experienced gardeners use consistently with real results. No gimmicks. No Pinterest science, just practical methods that save time, reduce problems, and increase production. Some of these take less than a minute to set up. Some quietly fix problems you didn't even realize you were creating. And one of them, at the end, will save you more money over a full season than everything else combined. Let's start with the ones that give you immediate wins. The kind you can apply today and see results within a week. Hack number 1, use cardboard under mulch to kill weeds long-term. Lay a single layer over any weedy area, overlap the edges so nothing slips through, and cover it with 3 to 4 inches of mulch. What happens is simple but powerful. The cardboard blocks all light, which kills existing weeds, and as it slowly breaks down, it feeds the soil underneath. Meanwhile, the mulch layer prevents new seeds from germinating. I used this on a patch that used to take me 20 minutes of weeding every week, and after one afternoon of setup, it basically disappeared as a problem. Hack number 2, use milk jugs for slow, deep watering. Poke a few small holes in the bottom, bury it next to a thirsty plant like tomatoes, and fill it with water. Instead of water evaporating off the surface or running away, it slowly seeps directly into the root zone over hours. That changes how roots grow, deeper, stronger, more resilient. Hack number 3, sprinkle cinnamon on seedlings to reduce damping off. This is one of those problems beginners run into constantly. Seedlings look fine one day, then collapse overnight. A light dusting of cinnamon creates a mild antifungal barrier right where it matters. It's not magic, but it noticeably reduces loss. Hack number 4, use a fan on indoor seedlings. Without wind, seedlings grow tall and weak. A small fan forces them to strengthen their stems, and when you transplant them, they don't flop over or struggle to adjust. Hack number 5, plant radishes as row markers. Carrots can take weeks to germinate, which means it's easy to accidentally disturb them. Radishes sprout in a few days, marking your rows clearly, and by the time the slower crops emerge, the radishes are ready to harvest. Hack number 6, use crushed eggshells around seedlings for slug pressure. It's not perfect, but it reduces damage enough to matter, especially when plants are young and vulnerable. The key is crushing them fine. Large chunks don't create a real barrier. Hack number 7, cold stratify seeds that need it. Some seeds simply won't germinate without experiencing winter. A few weeks in a damp paper towel inside a sealed bag in the fridge or freezer triggers that process and dramatically improves success rates. And this is where most people go wrong. It's not just what you use, it's how you use it. Hack number 8. Bury banana peels deep, not on the surface. This is one of those myths that's half true. On the surface, banana peels attract pests and decompose too slowly to help anything, but buried 6 inches down, they break down faster and release nutrients directly into the root zone. Same material, completely different outcome. Hack number 9, use a wooden board as a slug trap. Lay it flat on the soil, and slugs will hide underneath it during the day. Flip it in the morning and remove them. It's low tech, but surprisingly effective when slug pressure is high. Hack number 10, pinch early flowers on pepper plants. This one feels wrong. You see flowers, you want fruit. But early fruiting limits root and plant development. Remove those first flowers, and the plant grows larger and produces significantly more later. The difference over a full season can be dramatic. Hack number 11, use Epsom salt only when it's needed. It can help with magnesium deficiency, but more is not better. 1 tablespoon in the planting hole is enough. Overuse does nothing and can actually create imbalance. Hack number 12, use toilet paper rolls as seedling pots. Fill them with soil, plant your seeds, and transplant the whole thing. The cardboard breaks down, roots grow through, and you avoid transplant shock completely. Hack number 13, test soil pH with vinegar and baking soda. It's not precise, but it gives you direction. If it fizzes with vinegar, your soil is alkaline. If it reacts with baking soda after adding water, it's acidic. In under a minute, you know whether it's worth getting a real test. Hack number 14, plant garlic around your garden perimeter. Garlic releases compounds that help deter certain pests, and it doubles as a harvest. It's one of those quiet background hacks that works over time instead of instantly. Hack number 15, train vines upward early. Don't wait until they've sprawled everywhere. Just redirect them daily. It takes seconds, but it saves space, improves airflow, and reduces disease pressure. Hack number 16, soak large seeds before planting. Beans, peas, squash, they all have thick outer shells. Soaking them softens that barrier and speeds up germination by a few days, which can make a real difference in shorter growing windows. And hack number 17, the one that saves more money than everything else combined, save your own seeds. 1 tomato can produce dozens of plants. 1 pepper can give you over 100 seeds. A handful of bean pods can supply your entire next season. Once you start saving seeds from your best plants, you stop buying those varieties entirely. And this is where the compounding effect kicks in. Year after year, your garden becomes more self-sufficient. Your costs go down. Your plants adapt to your environment. And what started as a simple habit turns into a long-term system. And here's the part most people don't realize until a few seasons in. None of these hacks are powerful on their own. Using cardboard once won't change your garden. Saving seeds one time won't make a difference. Watering deeper for a week won't suddenly transform your plants, but when you stack them, they start interacting. Mulch keeps moisture in, which makes deep watering more effective. Healthier soil supports stronger plants, which are naturally more resistant to pests. Better spacing and airflow reduce disease before it even starts. And suddenly, you're not reacting to problems anymore. You're preventing them. That's the shift. Most beginner gardens feel like constant maintenance, fixing, adjusting, correcting. But well-designed gardens feel different. They're quieter, more stable, more predictable. Not because you're doing more work, but because you're doing the right work in the right places. So don't try to use all 17 of these at once. And pick 2 or 3. Apply them well, let them work together, and then build from there. Because the goal isn't to collect hacks, it's to build a system that makes your garden easier every season. And if you want to see how all of this fits into a complete system, watch the next video. That's where everything really starts to scale.